Before we begin, the Differently Brained team wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we record, edit, and stream this podcast. We pay our respects to all First Nations peoples and their elders, past, present, and future. We extend our respect to all First Nations cultures and recognise their ongoing connection to the lands, waterways, and communities.
Just a reminder that Differently Brained shares conversations about mental health and neurodivergence. Sometimes these topics can get a bit heavy, so please remember to check in with yourself before listening. And as always, please reach out for help if our chats have brought anything up for you. Now on with the show.
Hello and welcome to Differently Brained, the podcast where no brain is the same. I'm Lachlan Rutherford.
And I'm Jacinta Dietrich. And today, this is a short burst episode because we only have the studio for 10 more minutes.
Oh my God.
20 more minutes. So we're going to rush through our top 3 things we couldn't live without neurodivergent / mentally ill edition. So, Lachlan, kick us off. You've got 3 minutes to talk about your first thing. What can't you live without?
Lithium.
Nice. Why?
Well, I would say lithium. I will also extend that to some form of antidepressant. And hopefully, I would like to not be on lithium in the future. I would like to be on some other form of tablet. But I believe that some sort of regulator is necessary for me to function and think as a person in this world. Because without it, I will start thinking weird things.
Fair. Absolutely fair.
How about you? What's your first?
I absolutely love this. Medication
Yeah.
is literally what I wrote. So Lachlan and I didn't discuss these beforehand. We went off separately. We wrote our top 3 things in like 2 minutes. Yep, medication. Actively, don't think I'd be alive without it. Don't think I could continue to live without it. Have completely come to acceptance of it helps me be a better version of me rather than a lesser one, which is what I used to think, which is horse shit. Medication, absolutely need it. We'll never go off it. High five for us.
Yay. God, great minds.
Oh my God.
Great brains.
Great minds, or is that just genuinely, literally the top 1 thing we couldn't live without? Literally.
Yeah,
like, I think we both took that. We're like, yep, couldn't. Literally, would not be here. What an upbeat way to start.
I know.
Second thing you couldn't live without.
This is where things get conceptual and sappy and bullshit. So forgive me, Jacinta and listeners. But I can't cope in any form of relationship, familial, romantic, friendship-wise, without affection and understanding. Because and I'm sure that that's the same for a lot of people, but I actually, like, it makes me quite a not great person to be around when I think that I'm not getting affection. So I need it. I need it. I need it in my body and mind.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And also I need people to understand me because I'm weird and I like it when people do understand me and I don't have to talk about what I'm talking about. I don't have to explain myself. I just get it.
Fair enough.
That's why we're mates.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. I know it's a bit of a cop-out answer, but yeah, there it is. What's number 2 for you?
Very intrigued. You went conceptual. I've still stuck with like physically things.
Yep.
Books.
Books.
I don't think that I would have the understanding of myself if I didn't have books. I wouldn't have discovered my neurodivergent identity, and I understand, there's other stories out there. There's other ways. Other formats do not work for me. I cannot retain audiobooks. I cannot sit through a movie. I don't really listen to any other podcasts beyond our own and like 2 others. Like, I don't know how that information would have got to me if not for books. And I think that, they've been a constant source of comfort and something that I've really, really relied on across all of my life. So, yeah, not only is it, reflecting back to me and me learning about other people and stuff, but just as something that's been such a constant in my life and such a help, I absolutely have no clue what I would have done without them.
Actually, that's something I know our guests are very like author-centric and stuff sometimes.
And that is because that's the industry that I'm in.
I
have been an editor. I have ties to a lot of authors. I know that not everybody loves all the book chats, but what I was
going to say was despite that, I think that we should do an episode on like just us, because we always ask the guests this, an episode on what books have been formative or shaping of our...
Oh, I love this.
You know what I mean? Like...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Lachlan, what is your third thing you couldn't live without?
Music.
Oh. Okay, I said books. I can't really...
So,
fair enough. For the same reason?
Very much so. So I listen to music all the goddamn time except for when I'm editing or talking to people.
Yeah.
I listen to music in the car. I listen to music while I'm doing jobs around the house or cooking. I just really, and I like looking for new music. I've got very particular tastes. But I saw a concert last night, which was amazing. And I just, the vibe was fantastic. I just said vibe. And I think that without some sort of music there and the ability to enjoy it, not that I know very much about it, I know what I like, I just don't think that I would have a very interesting life. I don't know how I could come to that conclusion, but that's what I think. And also, there are some pieces of music from things that I've heard when I was manic, when I was really, really upset and not in a good place. There was some music that I was listening to at the time, which I still associate with that time, and it was, but in a good way. Like it was like soothing. It was the one thing that soothed me in that moment. So yeah, I guess that's why I came to that conclusion. It's that it brings me back down to ground, to earth sometimes.
Fair enough. That's a great answer.
Yeah. Number 3, please.
Number 3. This one's, it's still stuff, but it's like a bit more open-ended. Fluffy shit. Straight up fluffy shit. We've discovered that I am a very tactile sensory regulator, so I need soft, fluffy stuff. I've lived in hoodies since they came out. It has literally been a game changer for my general well-being and my sleep, because I used to pop it on top of my pillow. I have since discovered it's the greatest thing ever. We just found like polar fleece pillowcases and sheets. It is literally like sleeping inside the inside of a fluffy hoodie. It is amazing. It is perfect. Oh my God, I couldn't live without it. So fluffy shit in any form, basically. I just, like, it's always been a thing. I had a pom-pom on one of my teddies when I was young, and I rubbed it on my nose to get to sleep, and I rubbed it so much that like it fell off. And like I wore bits away of this teddy, because when the pom-pom was gone, I'd like rub its hand on my nose, and there's like worn away parts. I still have this teddy, and it is as old as me, and it looks awful. It looks rank, honestly. But I can't get rid of him because I love him.
Of course not.
So yeah, absolutely fluffy shit. Couldn't live without it. Would just be so sad.
So there you go, everyone. Now you know what you need in your life.
Absolutely. Those are the six
things that you need.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the title of this episode. It's the 6 keys to success.
We're not calling it that.
No.
But I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested, tell us your 3 things. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys. Thank you so much for listening. As always, any resources that we discussed in this episode will be linked in our show notes. Do you want to hang out with us in our lovely growing online community? Well, then join us in our Facebook group. We share our stories, resources, memes. It's basically just a nice and fun place to be. You can also check out our Instagram at Differently Brained Podcast, as well as mine and Jacinta's own personal accounts. All of our episodes are available to download and listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you find your podcasts.
Differently Brained shares the opinions of individuals and does not consider your personal circumstances. Differently Brained exists purely for information purposes and should not be relied on as health or medical advice. Because no brain is the same, please consult your healthcare professional for your personal medical needs.